How do languages start? So how is that, or different languages, or just first or whatever language started? I know it's kind of a packed question, uh, so you can unpack it in whatever ways the easiest for you. It doesn't have to be.
Sure. Well, it's controversial in terms of what are the origins of speech, and this is this is an area of this is an area of our paleoanthropology that is, you know, one that we can't. It's pretty hard to come up with anything, shall we say, substantively empirical. And usually what we do is we look at, for example, the remains that we see in fossil evidence, usually in terms of skulls and the brain cavity.
Yeah.
These, we look at that in terms of, could this kind of a brain supported something like the evolution or something in the beginning stages of evolution? Because one of the things that's very striking, of course, is that language is so widely different from anything, any kind of a communication system, even that used by our closest primate relatives. Myself, I tend to think that language language probably came out of our ability to see connections, and through the imposition on our nervous systems and the manufacture of stone tools. Because of the demands, the neurological demands it was made to manufacture stone tools, which were a tremendous step forward in our human evolution, because it meant that our ancestors who were living on the plains of the savannah could harvest these large bones that were generally passed over by other carrion eaters and bring them back to the safety of their places where they sheltered, and they could break these bones open and get at the fat and protein rich marrow in the bone.
Right.
And this became a very, very important feature. Now, the interesting thing about the manufacture of stone tools is that when we examine these very simple tools that are just, unifaced or broken or creating an edge just on one side, when we look at them microscopically, we see that there is a very, very definite design to it. And that definite design shows up all throughout the area in which we do find these fossils. But what that means is that this information was and these techniques were being transmitted. And in order to transmit them, you have to have some sophisticated means of doing it. And that was probably the birthplace of where language began. The other thing is that in the nature of language itself, we have one feature that other animal systems of communication don't have, and that is the phenomenon of recursion. In other words, we look at our ideas and we see that our ideas are all structured along the lines of what we call a phrase. And a phrase consists of two parts, a topic and a comment, a subject and a predicate. And the subject will always contain a nominative of some kind, a noun or something noun-like. And the comment will always contain a verb that can be, for example, a copula, something that links something like roses are red, or something that relates, it shows a relationship between the subject and the predicate. Joe ate the last apple.
Yeah.
So this feature is something that we see in all languages. And the way it comes out is very interesting because in different languages, and as populations begin to spread and begin to isolate themselves from each other, and did so over, globally, different forms of the arrangement begin to emerge, and that, of course, led to the diversity of what we know as human languages. They're just, at the present time, there are about 4,800 languages that we recognize as languages left on the planet, and an awful lot of them are going rapidly extinct.
Yeah, and that's sad. In fact,